What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the DS Asylum. I'm your warden, Dimitri Shrine, and today we are going to be talking about this is going to be one of my last videos pertaining to the 3-year anniversary, which is kind of sad. But of all the good things that they did do during this 3-year anniversary, they did forget about one thing that I find. I mean, on one hand, it's not that important. It's not like that many people ever used him to begin with, but there's a lot of people that would like to use him, and they just completely forgot about him, right? I mean, like, he's been a part of every single anniversary. All of them. He's been a part of all of the anniversaries. Except this one. And y'all know who I'm talking about. It's the boy Shallot. He got nothing. Unless they surprise us with some part 3 of the anniversary, which a lot of people think is what's going to happen. And the main reason why people think we're going to be surprised with a part 3 to the anniversary is because they haven't done anything with Shallot. I mean, think about it, right? 1-year anniversary, we got a transformation. 2-year anniversary, got a transformation. Why the 3-year anniversary? Why no transformation? I mean, it's very possible that the actual story mode just hasn't caught up to a point where Shallot should have the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. I do think people do need to keep in mind that everything that happens to Shallot is in relation to the story, not what time period the game is in. What's coming out in terms of banners and, the events and stuff like that, none of that matters when it comes to Shallot, right? Like, we could be getting, say the 3-year anniversary was completely, let's see, Dragon Ball Sagas based. That'll probably never happen, even though it should, because Dragon Ball Sagas does not get the respect it deserves for, starting this entire franchise. But whatever. Let's just say the 3-year anniversary had been Dragon Ball Sagas based. Shallot would have still likely gotten a Super Saiyan Blue transformation or Super Saiyan 4 if he got one at all this year, even though there's no Saiyan transformations at all other than the Great Ape form in Dragon Ball. So what's going on in terms of the banners has no bearing on what Shallot gets in his transformations. It's completely tied to the story. And it's completely possible that the story mode just has not caught up to a point where Shallot can get another form. I don't actually pay attention to the story. I know some of the bigger plot points that a lot of people talk about, but in terms of the story as a whole, I don't think I've ever read so much as a single line of dialogue in the entire story mode. I've skipped all of it, so I don't actually know where we are in the story. Genuinely, I don't know. I play story for the gameplay and the crystals, not for the actual story mode. It's a mobile game. I don't care that much. But yeah, it's quite possible that Shallot just is not ready for a new form. But my problem with that is, if you knew that the story was not going to be at a place where Shallot could get a new form during your anniversary, wouldn't it be best for you to start focusing all of your time, as much as possible, into the story mode so that you can pump that out faster, so that you can catch it up with the game itself? Wouldn't it have made more sense to, instead of focusing on releasing 6 units a month, just, for the last couple months before the anniversary, slow things down a little bit, focus on the story mode to the point where you're able to update it once a week, once every other week, once a season, once an update, and you can give Shallot his transformation during the big celebration like people want. It doesn't make any sense that Shallot would just be completely shafted during this anniversary. It just doesn't make sense. And I mean, the story mode is why the Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3 transformations happen just randomly. Like, I don't think either of them were tied to a celebration. I think Shallot just got the fucking transformation out of nowhere. And if you paid attention to the story, it wouldn't have been out of nowhere. But for people who don't, it kind of was just out of nowhere. But, I mean, the boy got shafted this year. Even though I know the reason why, it's because he's not ready in the story. In the game's canon, he is not ready. And when you're dealing with the main protagonist of your story, you can't give him forms whenever you want. You have to line him up with the story. Because you can't have him in a storyline where he's only supposed to have Super Saiyan God, but he's using Super Saiyan Blue just for 3 months from now. He's finally in a storyline where he's supposed to be in Super Saiyan Blue, but he's had it for 3 months, right? Like you can't really do that because it makes no fucking sense. So on one hand, I appreciate their dedication to keeping the integrity of story mode. I mean, not a lot of people give a shit about story mode, but for those who do, I appreciate them trying to keep the integrity of it. Fine, don't crack under pressure. Don't just give Shallot a form for the sake of giving Shallot a form. Let it be part of the story. I'm completely fine with that, completely respect it even. But you should have sped the story up a little bit. First of all, we only ever get story mode updates like once a month nowadays, which is actually not very good because we're on part 8 of the story. And the story parts are not that long. Like, if we take a look at the story mode, let's go ahead and take a look at the story mode real quick. All right, let's just go ahead and go in here if it ever loads. So we're in part 8 right now, right? I know I haven't done a lot of challenges, but I just can't be asked. I just can't be asked to do these fucking challenges. We take a look at part 1. Part 1 had 7 books, 6 chapters, both a normal and a hard mode. Now, how much did part 9 have? 5 books, 7 chapters, no hard mode. Every single story after part 2 has just been significantly shorter. Like, each one gets shorter and shorter. I mean, look. 602 challenges. Now, keep in mind, right, that's both of them combined. So let's just take a look at each difficulty, right? 301 challenges, okay? 301 challenges for part 1. 364 for part 2. Part 2 was longer than part 1. Part 3, 322, which I do think is still longer. Part 4, 336, still just about as long. Part 5, 198. What? That's damn near half of the story that we got before. Part 6, 217. It's longer than part 5, but Jesus. Part 7, I can actually just look at it here because we haven't gotten a hard mode in a long ass time. Part 7, 308. All right, we're back on track. We got a long story, but that was only because this was when he got the Super Saiyan God transformation. Part 7 of the story happened during the 2-year anniversary. This was a year ago. This was a full year ago. I want you to keep that in mind. We got 6 parts of the story before the 2-year anniversary. But between the 2-year and 3-year anniversaries, we got 3 parts of the story. What? Between the 1 and 2 year, well, between the game's release and the 2-year anniversary, 6 parts. Between the 2 and 3 year anniversary, 3 parts. And they're significantly shorter. It would be okay because, like, between the first day and the 1 year anniversary, that would account for 3 parts, 2-year anniversary, right? But these stories are significantly longer. So you mean to tell me that your parts have become half of what they used to be, and yet you still can't just speed up the story a little bit? Jesus Christ! Now, I don't know how long it takes to write that shit, but it can't be too terribly long considering there's what, like 5 minutes total of dialogue that happens? Like, it can't take up that much time. Your writing team cannot be that small. What is it, just one fucking person? It's just one person writing the entire story and making the little picture cutscenes? It's just one fucking person? Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't doubt it. The Legends team isn't that big. So I honestly would not doubt that it's just one person that's doing everything in the story mode. But my God, I don't actually think they forgot about Shallot. I just think that their very poor management of the story mode led Shallot to not being ready for the anniversary. Shallot isn't ready yet. That's the problem. Now, I'm sure the transformation itself is ready. Like, the actual transformation, I'm sure is like the code is all done for Super Saiyan Blue or whatever they plan to give him. But the story hasn't caught up yet. The story is not where the game is. The story has not reached that point yet. And it's kind of frustrating, honestly. It's honestly kind of frustrating that they've done such a poor job of managing the story mode that Shallot just was not able to be a part of the 3-year anniversary. And it's just kind of sad because he's the poster boy of the game. He is Dragon Ball Legends. He may not get as much love as Goku, Gohan, or Vegito, but at the end of the day, Shallot is Dragon Ball Legends, and honestly, should always be the centerpiece of your anniversary. Every single time. He should always be the centerpiece, whether it be on part 1 or part 2. But past the initial banner summons, Shallot should be the most important part of your anniversary. And for the past 2 years, he has been. If you, like, looking past the actual banners, Shallot was the biggest part of the 1 and 2 year anniversaries. And he just wasn't this year because he wasn't ready. I don't really know if I can, like, give them the benefit of the doubt this time, because we've seen that they can pump out story before. We've seen that they can do it at an incredibly fast pace to be able to make story parts that are significantly longer than they are now, and do it faster. We know they can do it. They're just not doing it. They have all of their attention so hyper-focused on releasing new units and Zenkais to make as much money as possible that they're neglecting the one thing that their poster boy is supposed to be selling, and that's the story mode. Shallot is supposed to be the reason you do story mode. He is supposed to be the thing that makes you excited whenever a new story mode drops. No one gets excited when a new story mode drops, except for the fact that, hey, crystals. I can get like 200 fucking crystals for doing the next 3 story stages. Like, that's the only thing anyone ever thinks about when we get a new story mode now. People are not excited for the story itself. They're not excited to see what Shallot's doing. I'm sure there's a few people, but for the most part, people just don't care because it's so poorly mishandled. It gets updated so inconsistently. It's just not done well. No matter how good the story is or is not, the fact that it's coming out so slow these days and they really have no excuse for it, this guy right here got shafted. This guy right here got shafted and he's stuck with Super Saiyan God. Now, I'm not even going to pretend like Super Saiyan God isn't still really good. Like, he is. Super Saiyan God Shallot is actually still pretty damn good. But we expected something. When you do something for 2 years in a row, you've made your player base expect it, right? You've programmed your player base to expect a transformation from Shallot every single year. And when you don't deliver on that, it really pisses people off. And it just makes them wonder, did you forget about him? Is he dead now? Hell, maybe Shallot's just dead. Maybe if I actually like paid attention to the story, maybe Shallot's just dead. Maybe they just killed him. That's why he doesn't have a new fucking transformation. He's never getting a new one because he's fucking dead. Fucking Giblet and Zaha fucking killed him. But I don't know. I know why Shallot didn't get a new form, and it makes sense. I'm not like super butthurt about it, but I do feel like the story mode could have been managed a little bit better to make Shallot actually, excuse me, actually able to get a form this year. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you agree, do make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that join button if you can. It really does help the channel out. All of the links you could ever want are in the description down below. And I will see all of you inmates back here at the asylum for the next video. Peace.